Yeah, but this one requires. Or here, and then it's. Yes. Who's under the map? I can't see. I'll stack that.
No, somebody you know.
Oh, I don't know. Are you shaking? I don't know.
Oh, it's.
Okay.
My name is Celia. My name is. You look, I'm fast, so I'll give you that something.
Yeah, right, yeah, well, we did, you didn't jump in the junkie house, so, you know, I mean, like, it's different matters. So, you can follow some roots to Chicago, and we're right in Ann Arbor.
It's on the street, but not.
Sure is, we are. Okay.
I thought it was something on the here. It's never on this one, and they decided to be commission. So that.
So you were saying before they were secret.
Here.
Yeah. I stand, I estimate, I have a lot of connections to great parents in Massachusetts.
Oh,
it's a totally different file. So that's, well, it is not really, well, it's not only people too. I think that's.
We are in our.
That's the favorite. Yeah, I know, everything here is basically the areas of the elements.
So they can come back, and they've been seeing that so far. Until.
So Ophelia, this is their game.
Sarah.
Here, let's all introduce ourselves.
All right, Margaret Russ, insert, hi, please.
Better shot.
Mary and Arthur. Mary and Arthur.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
So, you know that, I mean, Friday night, we have a pretty tight crew. Saturdays are big days, service thing out. But the Friday crew is very, very nice. So, but a little thin between Rosh Hashanah and
Yeah.
especially for people who did all 3 days of Rosh Hashanah. So, I know that they're probably. So,
I just, you're not.
we're there. I'm trying to hide.
It's a little surprised if you hear it.
I know, and actually I was gonna take off tomorrow, but you know, I don't think like Mark, if you relate to this, Mark was on the pulpit for a long time. And but China, people don't show up, like the one Shabbat you take off, and they never like, I don't know how to get it, like, you were here, whatever. And I had one target here who swore that every single time they came, I wasn't here last year. And I was like, I took 3 Shabbats off the entire year. I'm like, I came 3 times and you were never here. So,
There you go.
so I'm planning to come tomorrow, even though I wouldn't mind a little bit more aggressive before.
Well, we're great, I got.
Well, tomorrow we have Naomi Gertland is coming, who is almost a rabbi.
Oh.
And she's gonna share some thoughts on repentance, and Rob's gonna be here. You don't really need me. You don't need me. But I'm always sensitive that people say, you're sort of inspired me on Rosh Hashanah, so I need like this is the inspired me.
Well, you know,
Yeah, I know, I just, I'm always trying to just. I want to be there in case somebody walks in, you know what I mean, for real, like, it's that time of year where the doors are wide open. And it's very, very messy. And so I think we might be making a menu with the Zoom folks, you see.
and there was nothing, I couldn't find an email that talked about the services.
Nothing was sent out.
Or Zoom or anything, so
I
it's.
think that's my fault, is that says to me, should I send out the just the links?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, I feel like COVID's over, like, do we really need, I mean, it's the exact same Zoom link and YouTube link every
But I
single
never
week.
found it.
So I told her with all the stuff going out, skip it, yeah, it's probably, you know. in
Yeah,
my-
because I'm like, I texted her, I said, is there services tonight? You know, are they Zoom and.
Yeah, I just went to the website just to confirm.
Oh, it is.
That was smart. How many people do we have online so I know about Minion? 2. We have 3. Okay, well, let's read these 2.
Oh, sorry.
4.
Barry answers.
Barry, great, so 1. Thank you, Barry, thank you, Susan. So that gives us 1, 2, 3. Shabbat Shalom. We'll do a little davening and a little bit of schmoozing, and we'll go home for Shabbat. Let's begin on page 11. And I know so I'm just going to be different. I'll do the older tune. I think I've done that in 6 years. Continue silently to the bottom of page 12. Arba'im shana akud bedor v'omar amto elevavim v'hem lo yadu derachai shenishpati v'apihi im yivon el menuchati. 13. Shiru ladonai shir chadash, shiru ladonai kol haaretz, shiru ladonai baruch shemo, basru miyom liyom yeshuato, sapru bagoyim gevodo bechol ha'amim niflotav, ki gadol Adonai. Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot hevel b'tzedek, v'amim be'emunato. Continue through page 15 and forward for several pages. Either pick readings on the sides of the pages or let your eyes alight on a little bit of Hebrew or a little bit of English, whatever draws your spirit. Zaru ala tzadik, l'yishrei lev simcha, simchu tzadikim b'Adonai, hodu l'zecher kol shalom. Livnei Adonai kiva, lishpot haaretz, yishpot hevel b'tzedek, v'amim b'meisharim. Romu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lehar kodsho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai lamabul yashav, v'yeshev Adonai melech le'olam, Adonai oz amo yitein, Adonai yavarech et amo v'shalom. Before we can make our way to L'chadodi, I want to go to page 19 at the bottom for this really gorgeous
prayer from Beit Tefillah Yisraeli. I often do it when we're doing a Zoom Shabbat from the table, from the Siddur Erev Shabbat. And it seems appropriate for this time of the Yamim Noraim. Blessed is your coming, Shabbat, blessed is your coming. Bring with you rest and peace, following a tumultuous week filled with so many demands. Bring the space in which, with others and alone, we can shape an infinity of dreams. Bring the hour of forgiveness, in which to hear the pounding heart of another human being. Blessed is your coming, Shabbat. Blessed is your Creator. Blessed is your light. Lechadodi on page 23. Lechadodi likra ka'ala penei Shabbat nekabela shamur v'zachor b'dibor echad hishmiyanu el milchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem ol tiferet v'litila lechadodi likra ka'ala penei Shabbat nekabela likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki mekor hameracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh v'machshava tefila lechadodi likra ka'ala penei Shabbat nekabela mikdash melech imelucha kumitzei mitoch ha'pecha harav lach shevet be'emek habacha v'hu yachamol alaychem la lechadodi likra ka'ala penei Shabbat nekabela 24 hitna'ari me'afar kumi lishi bigdei tivartecha hami ayad ben yishai be'et halach mikorva el nafshi ge'ala lechadodi likra ka'ala penei Shabbat nekabela hitoreri kiva orech kumi uri shehir taberi kvod Adonai alayik nigla lechadodi likra ka'ala penei Shabbat nekabela lo tevoshi v'lo tikami ma tishtochachi u'mahatehemi bach yechesu aniyei ahamivni neta ihir atila lechadodi likra ka'ala penei Shabbat nekabela 25 hayulim shisa shosa yiperaku kol mevalayich yasisalayich Elohayich kimsos chatan ahakahala lechadodi likra ka'ala penei Shabbat nekabela yamin usma'ol tifrotzi v'yet Adonai taritzi ayadish behem parzi v'nismecha v'nagila lechadodi likra ka'ala penei Shabbat nekabela bomi v'shalom atere bala gam v'simcha uvetzala toch emunei aham segula boichala lechadodi likra ka'ala penei Shabbat nekabela. Shabbat shalom. We may be seated. Barav, will you join me for page 27? I'll take Ziva's place. Top of 27.
Mizmor Shir, Mizmor Shir, Shir Yom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir, Mizmor Shir, Shir Yom HaShabbat. Tov L'chodot L'Adonai, Uzamer Shivayom, L'chagim B'boker Hasteva, Mizmor Shir, Mizmor Shir, Shir Yom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir, Mizmor Shir, Shir Yom HaShabbat.
Continue silently to the bottom of 28. ודנובם בסהבה דשנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא עוולה תבוא אדוני מלאך גאות לבש עדותיך נאמנו מאוד לביתך נאווה הקודש נאווה קודש אדוני לאורך ימים. We're ready for the Mourner's Kaddish on page 30, but first I'd like to read the Yortzites for this week. Beth Israel congregation remembers, among others, Sandra Apperman, Norman Bash, Samuel Benjamin, Harold Blumson, Philip Besner, Harold Demersky, Samuel Epstein, Max Fleischer, Greta Forsman, William Fry, Joel Gorbolsky, Nehemiah Gorbolsky, Daniel Glicksberg, Benjamin Glicksman, Ethel Golden, Herbert Goldstein, Yvonne Good, Molly Isaacson, Pinkas Kasnelenbogen, and Hannah Kasnelenbogen, Harvey Katz, Jacob Kluger, Alton Lipnick, Stanley Morgenstern, Jim Polachek, Sidel Popinski, Yitzhak Popfetsky, Estelle Mendes Reiner, Ethel Roth, Anna Schwab, Helen Segar, Sue Schindler, Franklin David Seiden, David Stein, and Florence Steinberg. As we continue to remember Gideon Hoffer and Lois Kluger, Beverly Bennett, Shulamit Weissman, Robert Haftel, Ellen Monto, Richard Burke, Eva Kalani, Susan Chapnick, Phyllis Horwitz, Bill Liberson, Tamar Weaver, Rita Stoll, Harvey Aaron Scher, Bennett Stark, Dottie Berman, Martha Olenek, Bonnie Weinstein, Sheldon Berry, Naomi Metter, Shoshana Buckwalter, Sybil Mintz, Jeffrey Aronson, Mimi Sunshine Karish, Andrea Lynn Meislish, Evelyn Botkin, Sylvia Gordon, Carl Cohen, Isidore Fisher, and now Christine Reed. For those who are reciting the Kaddish, please rise on 30 and recite with me. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divra kiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam l'amei mayam. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yinaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shmei dekudesha, brichu. Le'ela, mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, Uyaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, V'imru. Amen. We all are standing for the Baruch Hu on page 39b. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. We may be seated. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Asher kilam asa biyom hashvi'i. Umavir yom umevi laila, mavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Haravim. Page 40. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, B'shachveinu v'kumeinu, Nasiyach b'chukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, U'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu v'orech yameinu, v'orech yameinu, Uvahem nege yomam v'layla. V'avatcha tasemel olamim, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Continue page 42 into 43. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Umalchuto b'ratzon kilblu aleihem Moshe Miriam v'nei Yisrael l'chanush b'simcha haraba v'amru chulam 44 Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot O Seifele, Machutecha Ra'u Vanecha, Bokei Hayam Lifnei Moshe, Ze'eli Anu V'Amru, Adonai Yimloch, Le'olam Va'ed, V'ne'emar Kifada Adonai Yaakov, U'Galo Mezak Mimenhu, Baruch Atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Let's read the English together on page 45. Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us Remove from us enemies, pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you, God, watch over and deliver us. And you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Page 46. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam ki sheshet yamim Asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash. As we prepare for the Chatzi Kaddish on 46, we'll be heading directly into the Friday night Amidah on 47 and forward. You can follow instructions where it says, on Shabbat Shuvah we add. You'll see that, for example, at the top of page 48. We are at Shabbat Shuvah. You also see it at the bottom of page 48. So wherever you see the special insertions for Shabbat Shuvah, swap those in for the normal prayers. And if you're happy to daven the prayers, do that. And if you're still working on a resolution for this year, then imagine yourself following through with a resolution that you have in mind, or thinking of how that resolution would actually be lived, like envision it actually happening. Think of how you would tell someone that you're doing it. With whom would you share your resolution, and how would you share it? And if you're already like, Rabbi, you've prepared me for resolutions, I got my resolution, then you have a second resolution that's been trying to get your mental attention, but has been shut out because the rabbi told you to focus on one. So if you have a second resolution that's trying to find its way before Yom Kippur, then let that arise to your consciousness. Please rise. Yitkada v'yikada shemei rabba b'yamadi rakirte v'yamlith malchute b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael Bagala v'zman kariv v'himeru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach Ya'alam ulam me'amaya Yitbarach v'ishtabach v'pa'ar v'tromam v'naseh v'tadar v'taleh v'talal shmei d'kudesha Le'ela, le'ela, mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'yama v'imheru. 47 to 52 with insertions for Shabbat Shuvah or your own High Holy Day preparations. I'm sorry. I was in my thoughts, and the one's already done. I apologize. Page 53. I know it says that it's recited while standing. I don't hold by that tradition, but if it's yours, you can stand, but that's not the tradition I was raised in. Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayechal Elohim bayom hashvihi melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvihi mikol melachto asher asa Vayevarech Elohim et Yom HaShvi'i Vayekadesh oto Kivo shavat mikol melachto Kivo shavat mikol melachto Asher bara Elohim Asher bara Elohim la'aso Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Konei Shamayim v'Aaretz Magen Avod Bidvaro Mechaye Metim B'Mamaro HaMelech HaKadosh She'ein Kamohu HaMeniach Le'amo B'Yom Shabbat Kodsho Kivam Ratza Lehaniach Lahem Kivam Ratza Lehaniach Lahem Lefanav Na'avod B'Yirav V'Pachad V'nodeh lishmo b'chol yom tamid me'on habrachot el ha'od ha'od Adon ha'shalom mekadesh ha'shabbat u'mvarech shevi u'meniach b'kedusha Yamadu shnei oneg zeh l'maaseh v'reishi. Rav, can I call you up for the paragraph at the top of 54? I know it's beautiful in Hebrew too, but I love it in English, so. Yeah.
Our God and God of our ancestors, embrace our rest. Make us holy through your mitzvot, and let the Torah be our portion. Fill our lives with your goodness, and gladden us with your deliverance. Purify our hearts to serve you truly. Adonai our God, lovingly and willingly, grant that we inherit your holy Shabbat, that the people Israel, who make your name holy, may find rest on this day. Baruch atah Adonai, who makes Shabbat holy.
Amen. Before we do Kadesh Olam, I like, Celia, you'll find this out about me. I mean, and it's probably not the only one. I like sharing synchronicities because I believe we live in a mystical reality. So I had a little bit of a synchronicity just before coming to shul, right, Marav, when I got my coat. And it was a jacket. And that is, I was thinking, I want to pick out a good Muriel Rukeyser poem for Yom Kippur, such a powerful poet. And so I went over to a book I have of American poetry. It's one of the recent books, I forget by his name. It's one of the Jewish anthologists who is fantastic. And is it Hirsch? I'm trying to remember. And so I opened randomly in this book of poetry because I was thinking I want a Muriel Rukeyser poem for Yom Kippur, but for tonight I figure whatever I open to is good enough. Jewish, not Jewish, I don't care. So I open up to the 3-page chapter in a whole volume on Muriel Rukeyser. And I look down and I'm reading and I'm like, this doesn't sound like Muriel Rukeyser. So what the anthologist did is in the Muriel Rukeyser section, he included a poem that was written shortly before the death of another poet who wrote a poem about a Muriel Rukeyser poetry reading. And it was the poet that I used to live with when I was in my 20s for about a year. And so it's just like one of these things, like I need a Muriel Rukeyser poem, but for tonight I'll just grab any poem. I open up randomly, I'm in their Muriel Rukeyser section, I'm like, wow, that's already weird. And then I'm like, and now it's a poem not by Muriel Rukeyser, by the poet I used to live with. And so that was, and I didn't know him, I wasn't living with him right before he died, and so it was a poem I didn't know, which is rare, because it was one of his last poems. Anyway, so a little bit of synchronicity. So in honor of that, let's read the Muriel Rukeyser poem that's here on the left on page 54. And I think what I'll do is I'll let you just read it to yourself. I don't think you need me reading it. Yikadav yikadav shemira ba b'yamad yivrakertev yamlich machute b'chay chonov yom b'chonav chay d'chol beit Yisrael b'galav izman kari v'imeru amen yehi shmira ba mevarach le'alam ulam me'amaya Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitramam v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmira kudashah Le'ela, le'ela, mikol berchata v'shirata, tishbchata v'nechamata, damiram be'ama v'imeru. Titkabal tzlot honavat hondecho Yisrael, kol adama v'hondi v'ishmaya v'imeru. Yesham rabba min shemai v'chaim aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imeru. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen. 56, please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol. Latei kruva yotzer b'reshit shelo asanu k'goyei harasot velo samanu k'mishlochot ha'adama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'dor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachadim u'modim Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu noteh shamayim v'yosei haaretz Yekaro b'shamayim imav Ushninatu zo b'gavei merahomim Hu Eloheinu Ehenod Elevakenu efesulato kakatu b'torahato v'dakta hayom v'hashegota elevakecha ki Adonai hu ha'elohim b'shamayim imav v'ya'aretz Mitachat ein hod. Kakatu b'toratecha Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed v'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo We turn to page 59 for Psalm 27 before the Mourner's Kaddish. LeDavid Adonai Oriv Yishim Me'irah. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota avakesh. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota avakesh. Shivti beveit Adonai kol yemei chayai. Lachzot benoam Adonai, ulevaker behechalom. Ulevaker behechalom. Lehem anti, l'rot b'tuv Adonai be'eretz chayim, kaveh el Adonai, chazak v'yametz libecha v'kaveh el Adonai. Turn back to page 58 for the Mourner's Kaddish, for those who are reciting. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach kirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayedecho Beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv imru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulamei almaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha brichu le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Aseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. I have just a before announcements. I'm just going to share my diminished capacity. On Psalm 27, on the next page, on 59, I'm always a little bit befuddled and so about the section that if you go about halfway down the page, where it says, Adonai, hear my voice as I cry out, be gracious to me and answer me. So that is just super high holy days, kind of capturing it all in the essence. And then it says, it is you of whom my heart said, seek my face. It is your presence I seek, Adonai. So I've always struggled with understanding what's going on with it is you, my heart, of whom my heart said, seek my face. So it could just be that I have a blockage here grammatically in understanding the sentence. So I'm trying to understand. The heart is the one talking. And the heart says, seek my face. Now, if the face is God's, then my should be capitalized, right? Is the heart saying, is the heart speaking God's words and saying, seek my face? Or is the heart, I assume, speaking to God and saying, seek my face? But if the heart is talking to God and saying, seek my face, why is it is you of whom my heart said, seek my face?
And bakshu is also plural.
Because face is a plural. Right.
Which makes it even more confusing.
So I'm just going to go back there. Don't hide from me. Oh, no, I'm too high up. Right. Lecha mar libi bakshuk fanai et fanecha Adonai avakesh. Right, because face is a plural term.
Well, bakshu is plural.
But bakshu is plural.
So the command is, you should all ask about the request my face.
Right. So is the translation bad, or is it to you, Amar Libi, that my heart says, seek my face. So it shouldn't say it is you of whom, it should say it is to you that my heart is speaking, saying, seek my face. So which is incredible, I mean, it's really, really beautiful, right? So the heart is saying, or is the heart speaking to me? Is my heart telling me, seek God's face? And then, as anybody who ever received a business card from me, but I don't think I've handed out a business card in like about 3 years. I don't think I carry them anymore. Who does? My business card has a quote from Tehillim, from Psalms, that is, let's see if I can remember my own business card. The human heart, oh my gosh, I really am in diminished capacity. As one sees their reflection in water, so too is one human heart reflected in another. And so this kind of the heart speaking and its reflection in another. So it's just a very intimate image of like, I'm seeking my reflection in God, or maybe with the weird translation, is God seeking God's reflection in me? It's kind of beautiful. And for those who were here for the first day Rosh Hashanah sermon, where I talked a lot about the idea, the significance of God being a composite being, one of the main ways of understanding a singular form that is a composite being is using the word face, because face is a composite word. It's a plural, but it is meant to represent something where the sum of its parts add up to an entire single composite form. So then you also have this face seeking the face of God, God's face seeing the face within our own reflection. Really beautiful and powerful stuff. Anyway, thank you for following me along in that and helping me with the Hebrew. And so the announcements are, probably as you know, Kol Nidre, tomorrow morning services. For those who enjoyed the teachings of now, soon-to-be Rabbi Naomi Gertlin, she's going to share some reflections tomorrow on repentance, on Teshuvah from the Bima. Last-minute ask since she came into town, and so I saw her at the Shiva last night, so she'll be presenting. And then Kol Nidre Sunday at 7 p.m. As you know, don't be late for Kol Nidre because it starts. It has to start before sunset, and my memory is sunset is at 7:07, which means that we're never late. At 7 o'clock, the Ark will open. Also, on Sunday at around 9:15 p.m. after Kol Nidre services, there will be an opportunity for meditation in 2010, the GNS building with Sandy Finkel. Yom Kippur morning services begin at 8:30 a.m., roughly go to around 2:15 p.m. We have an extended break, and then we come back for a study session, and then Mincha and Ne'ilah. If it is not your practice to come to Ne'ilah, make it your practice for this year, because Ne'ilah is the best. And with that, at 8:15 p.m., there's kind of a grab and go. What's the grab and go break the fast here, Jerry? Or is it just break the fast matching? Because it says here, announce that on Monday at 8:15, there's break the fast.
There will be some snacks for people to break their fast.
Gotcha.
Before they.
And if you saw your emails today, Professor Yofi Tirosh will present next Friday night on Israeli society law and gender segregation in Israel. This is for me, it's a big get for us, which is I heard that she was presenting at the law school as part of, she's in Israel, although she did her PhD at U of M. So they had her doing a presentation, and I reached out to her, and I said, is there any chance you're here on Thursday or Friday before you head back to Israel? And she said yes, and I said, would you like to present at Friday night services? So please come next Friday night. I will do the halakhically required prayers and daven very, very quickly so that we can hear her presentation. She's really an extraordinary person. She's, of course, senior fellow at the Shalom Hartman Institute, as well as a dean of various law schools. And her research is on feminism and jurisprudence in Israel. And finally, the Sukkah Hop is coming up, and Sukkot is coming up, and all kinds of yummy things and amazing things. And so,
If anybody needs lulav and etrog next week, we have them in here, and we ordered more than were requested. So after Yom Kippur.
that's right. So we have a lot coming up this fall, and we'll talk more about it as time goes on, but Yofi will kick us off. We also have a composer in residence soon thereafter for a Friday night weekend, and then soon thereafter we have an orchestral chamber music special composition with the Musical Society, which will be coming up just after that on a Saturday night, about a week or two later, and we have a lot of Jewish culture and stuff coming up. Since I talked so much, let's finish with Oseh Shalom. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Shabbat shalom and Gemar Chatima Tova. May you be sealed for a good year.